And I was a very interested viewer earlier today. By the way, I do dig Danny's day trading. I absolutely dig it. I thought that was fun. So thank you for that.
Do you know what the backstory is?
No, I don't, but the segment's good. You and Danny bring all of the energy, and I'm not sure that Fornelli and Elliott aren't asleep or are cardboard cutouts.
Hey now, listen. It is about balance. I have always said one of the great joys of the Cover 3 podcast is we do have a little something for everybody. You're going to find one of us that you love, one of us you don't like, one of us that you agree with, one of us that you think is an idiot, because ultimately we all love each other and we enjoy talking about it with each other. I mean, the live YouTube chat is filled with back-to-back comments of, like, this guy's an idiot. This guy's exactly. So
okay.
Anyway.
No, I love all of you guys, but there's only only two of you actually have seem to be awake.
So the quick backstory on day trading Danny.
Sure.
Which I don't know. He's a friend of the show, so I don't want to.
Who? Danny Cannell?
Yes, he's a friend of yours.
He's awesome. I love Danny. Yeah.
Platform. Yeah. So you can Google Danny Cannell's career earnings. He had a successful NFL career.
He's a pro for a while, yeah.
He took up day trading at a very, very bad time for day trading. You Google when he left the NFL and the financial situation that quickly followed it. Fast forward, he's doing a podcast with us. So I'm just saying.
Oh, bless
Danny happens because day trading did not work out for Danny.
Oh man, so, I feel bad now, but I love Danny Cannell. So
yeah, I love Danny Cannell. He laughs at himself as well as about anybody that I know, and he was the one who brought that joke up, and he pulls out his old trading book.
Like, I saw that
actual day trading book from his day trading days.
I want to dig into Clemson here. Because we played your rant from Monday about Clemson no longer being a top 5 program. They're a top 20 program, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have the biggest game in the ACC this weekend is likely NC State at Duke. Although there's other, maybe Clemson's playing the biggest game at Syracuse for the league. The Clemson needs to get a win.
Miami losing to Florida would be horrendous for the league. And while we think Florida is a total dumpster fire, they still have pros on that team.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're dismissing that like Miami is just going to throw their helmets on the field and that's going to be enough. They're going to have to play well. Right.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play well, and I think the line is still single digits, even though it's in Coral Gables. But I watched Clemson, Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. Even had Clemson won the game somehow, I still would have been out on Clemson as a national championship contender this year. I don't know how they would have won the game because they were clearly second best at Bobby Dodd Stadium on Saturday. But even if they somehow just managed to get a lucky break, the kid misses the field goal, and then he misses another field goal, and Clemson somehow wins in overtime. I just don't think they're good enough. And this is my problem with where we are in college football, is that we're talking about Georgia Tech being a national championship contender, or not to win, but a playoff contender based on the rest of their schedule. I like Georgia Tech. I think they're good. Cal, based on the rest of their schedule. And we're not talking about, man, they're just a good football team. And I will forever be discouraged by the state of affairs in our sport, in this sport, because of that. You want to talk me off the ledge?
Yeah. I think that gaming out.
Right.
The idea that just because right here on September 17th, you're looking at the rest of a schedule and you're not seeing any landmines is entirely ignoring the American Cannibalization Conference that is the ACC. You are really trusting the teams in this conference to not crab in a bucket their way to having a 2 or 3 loss conference champion. Everyone's like, well, look at, they're going to be favored in every game until they play Georgia.
Yep.
Based on today's power ratings, sure. Mm-hmm. And you know what happens with teams that are favored? They win about 55% of the time.
Yeah,
like,
Pitt happens.
There's nothing that leads me to believe that just because of the way a schedule looks and the way a team's record is set up on September 17th, that we can game this all the way out to Georgia Tech or Cal or SMU or pick your flavor are going to end up being there as a certain team. Because, back to your Clemson point, Clemson losing that game was my point about the erosion of the mystique. Mm-hmm. Because Clemson teams in 2016, Clemson teams in 2017, Clemson teams, not in 23 because they lost every turnover in the world, Clemson teams in 22 as they started to roar back from the loss against Duke and sort of respond, mm-hmm. they would just find ways, right. They would crumble, like the opponent would just crumble. It's like, oh God, we played so well. We got to this point. Oh, but they got us.
Jack Nicholson's on the leaderboard on the back 9 at Augusta. So Nicholas. Greg Norman and Norman and Sevi can't play. They forget how to play.
Right.
Which is what happened.
And that happens. Yeah. I mean, remember when Boston College had the big lead against Clemson?
Yeah.
And just like all of a sudden, Cornell Powell and Amari Rogers break loose. 2 players who are not superstar wide. They are not T. Higgins and Mike Williams, but man, all of a sudden they couldn't be covered. I think that mystique of you being a superpower and having a mental advantage over the rest of the conference, I think that's what's gone. And that's where Georgia Tech winning the game is kind of all right, well, that's it. Second thing here is I think that Dabo's passion at his press conference leads me to believe that he is not dealing with the classic Roy Bus dynamic. The classic Roy Bus dynamic is that he's hearing Paul Feinbaum. He's hearing the Cover 3 podcast. He's hearing ESPN College Football Live or CBS Sports HQ. He's hearing all these outside voices not take Clemson as seriously as they should. That's the Roy Bus. That stands for ROY, rest of y'all. It goes back about 10 years.
Right.
And it was his way to rally the troops. They don't know what we've built in here. They don't know the people we have, the work we're putting in. The way that he's talking, Adam, makes me think that the frustration that he's having isn't an outside voice. It's voices that are close. He is so upset by the entitlement. He's used the word entitled a lot. Yeah. And saying, well, if y'all don't like the winning, I'll go coach somewhere else. Which, right. By the way, 54-minute press conference of continuing to circle back. That leads me to believe that there is some unrest inside the house. Like
maybe some boosters or some local reporters, right? Yeah, no, I totally understand that because I can't imagine that there's anybody in Clemson's administration who's going, yeah, it might be time for this guy to move on. Like, this is the greatest. There's not even anything close to it.
No, he's the greatest coach in program history, undoubtedly. Changed the program forever.
There's not a second place. Like, who's the second best coach? Like, they occasionally won. This guy did it, I mean, like, cranking out a playoff caliber, national championship caliber season after season after season. There's no second place. It's like choosing the second best coach in Duke basketball history. I mean, that's what it is. Duke was a good program before.
Hey, Vic Bubas got to do a Final Four, Adam. Absolutely.
So did Bill Foster.
Yeah.
So, right. So, like, it's crazy. It's crazy that we are where we are. But I get the frustration. Now, will that frustration be smoothed over? Will it be a salve when they win their next 5 games and suddenly they're 6-2, and because this is the way it's done, they'll be back in the rankings, even though not sure they will have beaten a good team over the next 5 weeks. But if they win their next 5, will that calm people, or does it have to be a win over Florida State, which this would be leading up to, maybe in addition to a win at Louisville, and then maybe South Carolina at the end of the year? I mean, I don't think they're a playoff team because I don't think they're going, 8-0 the rest of 7-0 the rest of the way?
Well, they're 1-2 in the official ledger. They are 0-3 and looking like a playoff team.
I thought they looked better this week than they did last week.
No, that team is not playing to its talent level.
No, I didn't say that.
That team objectively is not playing to its raw talent level. There are too many players who individually will be playing in the NFL are on that team, and they are not playing to that level. And that is why I referenced Texas A&M in that rant. That is why I referenced Miami in that rant, because I was thinking about programs who regularly are bringing in NFL talent, but also losing a couple games. I mean, not a lot. Too talented to have a total bottom-out season, but you're gettable. You're gettable to anybody. Yeah. You're dangerous against anybody. I mean, we've seen Texas A&M beat Nick Saban Alabama teams through multiple coaches.
Just beat Notre Dame.
I think that is that is like the tough reckoning here. Is I think Clemson's still going to have super talented teams, but they just do not have that edge to where I even feel confident saying, "Oh yeah, they'll win their next 5 or 6." There is not anything from the last couple of seasons that says we expect the switch to be flipped, because nobody on that roster has been a part of a team that's had that mental edge. They've all been a part of teams that have lost multiple games every single season. And now that has now become the standard. You have lost your standard. And that is the piece of this where, look, Clemson is like a Miami, right? You know, we still are going to look at Miami. Miami's ranked in the top 5. They could lose to Florida. Miami,
they could. Yeah, because none of us have confidence in Mario Cristobal. Zero of us.
I just think that the Tigers have not played to their talent. They've tried to switch up offensive coordinators. They've now tried to switch up defensive coordinators. They are underperforming the talent level of the roster.
Very, very quickly, because I want to move on to other games and other teams. I mean, is it as simple as Cade Klubnik just isn't that good?
Maybe. Well, I mean, it's not that simple, but it's a huge part of it.
Right.
I mean, do you know what he looks like right now? He looks like a CFL quarterback. He looks like Max Duggan. He looks like somebody who is not destined for the first round of the NFL draft, but somebody who's destined to be an Argonaut.
Darian Durant would like a word.
That's fine.
Because he's not nearly as good as Darian Durant.
No, but that's where Max Duggan is. I made that connection because when I was watching Cade this season, I was really being as friendly as I could. I was like, let's look at just the good plays. Let's look at the things he is doing well right now. And it helps for my brain, the way that I think about this, that he's running Garrett Riley's offense. And Garrett Riley was the offensive coordinator for Max Duggan at TCU.
Okay.
When they made the national championship game, when Max Duggan was like a top 6 vote getter in the Heisman Trophy, Cade Klubnik at his best looks like what Max Duggan was doing, making some plays with his legs. He's got not a lot of reads. He's only asked to make a couple of reads, and when he makes the throw, it happens. I mean, if Bryant Wesco doesn't drop the 3rd down pass, maybe there is a path for Cade Klubnik to be a good college quarterback. Well, in July, we were talking about him like he was a first-round NFL draft pick, like a contender for the Heisman Trophy, and he is so decidedely not looking like that.
All right, let me move on to a quarterback that right now...
Sure, I can talk Clemson all day, Adam. I've been covering this the whole daggum time. I got hired by CBS in 2010, And in 2011, I was there on like the third row in Charlotte as Dabo's like, our first ACC title in 20 years, and it's not our last. And he called his shot. I've been there at both national championship games. I've seen this rise, and I'm just telling you, it ain't like it used to be.
It is not. It is absolutely not. But maybe Miami and Florida State, which traditionally have been the better football programs than Clemson, maybe they will carry the torch for the ACC, and maybe Georgia Tech, who also is an ACC program with a national championship, a shared one, to their credit, maybe they will somehow buck the trend and manage to win so many close games and keep themselves viable. But I want to move on, because I want to move on to the ACC's Big 12 team, NC State, playing at Duke, which I think is going to be like watching, we'll just say, TCU play Baylor back in the... I think we're going to have so many points in this game, because at least in the first half, I'm not sure State can stop anybody. And I think if Duke's offense does get cranked up, I think we're going to be in here to light up a scoreboard, something in the where both teams are in the high 30s, maybe in the 40s.
Potentially the most college football of the college football games in week 4. Like, in this day of trying to blow everything up into a mega matchup, right, and, expanded conferences and helmet logos, and, if you just want to find a college football game, capital C, capital F, capital G, Wallace Wade Stadium is going to be your spot.
And there'll be fans there because NC State's local.
I think
it'll be a state crowd.
NC State has played closer to its ceiling than Duke has.
Mm-hmm.
Duke cannot get out of its own way and has not been able to in multiple games.
Yep.
I have no idea what will happen, but I am thrilled in anticipation for the reactions either way.
Yeah.
Because let's say State wins. So now all of a sudden we got 4-0 Diamond Dave, 3-0 in conference. No, not 3-0 in conference play. 2-0 in conference play.
Right.
Don't forget about the Virginia game, non-conference game.
Right, with Virginia Tech and Campbell coming up.
Virginia, if Duke loses, oh my gosh. Like, what's happened to this team? What happened to my $8 million?
Yeah.
But if Duke wins, NC State, do they throw in the towel?
No.
Is everything righted for Duke? I sense strong reactions from both of them, and I have no idea what will happen, though there's a high chance that stupidity plays a factor.
Oh, yes, of course. Look, I have really enjoyed watching the Wolfpack. I've enjoyed watching Bailey. His decision-making has been spectacular. Hollywood Smothers they have so many fun college football players to watch.
Yeah.
The defense, second half of both games, the Virginia game, of course, there were 2 drives. I still don't understand what the quarterback was doing for UVA on the final play. I just don't.
Oh, I know exactly what happened. Okay, you don't need to be a tape grinder. You just need to know that Chandler Morris has played for 4 teams in 5 years, so who's to tell what color of jersey I should throw to? I mean,
good
purple,
point. Yeah.
Green,
good point.
Red. Who's to say?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Muscle memory takes over, and you have no idea what's going on. But, man, State is just so much fun to watch offensively. I think Duke's defense is good, but they make too many they allow a lot of big plays, but, boy, they'll get behind the line of scrimmage. So I think this is going to be an interesting game. It will be a game of minimizing mistakes, but I think that's probably pretty cliched. Chip Patterson is joining us here. Let me get to what happened at Virginia Tech, and I know it happened at UCLA, and it's almost certainly going to happen at the University of Florida. Where does Virginia Tech go? We talk about what Clemson was and now is.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Tech, when they came into this league, they were the standard bearer for what football could be in the league. Not quite nationally, just a tick below that, but they are so many miles off of it. I don't know. Is it possible that program was only Frank Beamer and that they will never be anything other than good?
No. Fast
okay.
no.
All right.
Because
then how do they get out of this?
Well, because 55,000 people still showed up to watch that team play against ODU.
Right.
Like that, the fan support.
Right.
And that's why you had to fire Brent Pry right now, because you had to let them know that what was happening was unacceptable. You had to give the locker room a chance. And I don't think Philip Montgomery is all that, but he just showed up like 3 months ago. So at least it's a new voice.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they go 3-9 instead of 1-11, like I still think that as a university, because you're not going to hire anybody.
Yeah, it was about showing your fans, right? Yeah, it was about showing your fans.
You just had to show your fans, and that's the thing is, I think that the fan support, the university support, like they care. They actually have a football culture, and I don't think that's just Frank Beamer, because we're multiple head coaches separated from that, and 55,000 people still showed up to watch a sorry football team against ODU.
Right, but they haven't been good. They weren't even good at the end of Frank Beamer, and they haven't been good since.
By the way, Virginia Tech, maybe a strong contributor to the whole idea of being just ACC good. They won 4 conference titles in the first, maybe 5 or 6 years of membership.
Yeah.
And every single time they got to that big bowl game at the end of the year.
Yeah. No, that's like they were just not quite, nationally good, but they were the best that we had in this league. Right. And by the way, for the first 6 or 7 years, it was either Virginia Tech or Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
That was and we had Boston College back-to-back 10-win seasons with Matt Ryan. Shows you the power of elite quarterback play. Is there any chance, we'll close on this, and then I have to ask you one other question. Is there any chance that they could convince Shane Beamer to come there? And that might be a dumb idea, to be honest.
I'm not going to say no. I do think that it's important to note, and David, have you spoken with Teal this week?
Not yet. I have spoken with Teal this week, but not about that. He did not bring up Shane Beamer. He brought up other names for me.
No, but the tidbit that he points to is that Shane could have been on Frank's staff a lot earlier, and the only reason he came back was because he knew that his dad was winding down, that they wanted to have a chance to coach together. But for the most part, both as an assistant and also as in his journey to eventually become a head coach, he did want to pave his own path. So I would say that would maybe make it slightly less likely. I do think that for Virginia Tech, what you are 100% not going to see is them hire a coordinator.
Oh, it's going to be head coach, right?
They are going to hire somebody with head coaching experience who's used to running every facet of a program, not a coordinator on the rise, not somebody who's regarded as a, quote, good recruiter. They need somebody who is able to organize a high-level college or a college football program. They've got good options from the group of 5 level, good head coaches. They might have some former head coaches or ones who are in, other places right now. So we'll see.
I have a suggestion for you.
Dave Clawson.
No.
Jimbo Fisher.
No.
Dan Mullen.
$20 million a year. Nick
Bill
Saban.
Belichick.
Nick Saban. Pay him $20 million. I'm not kidding.
Now Miss Terry told me that if I go back into coaching, she gonna leave me, and I don't know who's gonna go buy my oatmeal cream pies.
Exactly. He needs all the little $20 million just worth of Little Debbie's. Chip Patterson, you're the best.
Wait, I thought you had one more thing you wanted to say.
We ran out of time. We're going to do it all next week.
What? All?
All of it next week.
Okay. We got Ryder Cup next week.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. We'll do it next week.
All right. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com, Cover 3 podcast moderator, my man.